most people think of creativity as being like wild, unique, out-of-the-box ideas, going back to out-of-the-box. They think it means just the big bang breakthrough ideas. And then you get to creativity assessments that are based on that assumption in some ways. And you start getting assessments, and you find them online, you find them all over the place, a lot of academic assessments. But what they do is they ask questions to determine who is higher as a creative person and who is lower. Are you more creative? Are you less creative? And that causes problems.
Yes. So what we wanted to share with you is that, again, as you know, our approach is strength-based. We start with where people's strengths are, and then how do we build from there. And so we've actually had numerous experiences where we've been working with people in a workshop, and they've been especially defensive and reactive from the very beginning. And when we inquired further, especially at breaks or more personally, we've discovered that they were given one of these creativity assessments which labeled them with a number. And that number was considered they were highly creative or not highly creative. And we discovered with those people that they were given one of those assessments, they had a low rating, and they were pegged as not being creative.
And that label has a self-esteem question to it. It has a group esteem, if you will, to how people see them, and can actually have career implications. If you get pegged in a team as, okay, you're on the side bench, we don't need you right now, we need creative people.
Yes. We found a free online creative assessment, and we decided to go take it just before making this video because we wanted to have an experience, because we knew it was going to be one of those high-low with a number. And so we took it. Now, actually, this assessment had some very nice questions. It even had some very nice points at the end, but it did give you this number. And I was saying to William after we took it, I said, imagine if I were the head of IT, which I was in the 1980s, and I found this free online assessment. I like fun things like that. And what if I told my team, I've got a team of 10 people, let's say, and I told them, hey, I want you to go get your online assessment and bring it back, and we'll talk about it in our meeting tomorrow. So everybody goes and does it. They come into the room. What am I going to do with the person who has a 32? I have a 75. What am I going to do with the person who has a 45? A person who has an 85?
The 85 is probably a troublemaker.
That's probably definitely a troublemaker. And so, it's, again, especially if I'm just a manager, I'm not even a facilitator. I don't even know how to facilitate necessarily a strength-based conversation. But you know what? It doesn't matter. The moment anybody sees those numbers, they're going to automatically make a judgment of themselves or of another person. And so we recommend that please do not use creativity or innovation assessments that give people a rating at the end as to whether they're low, medium, or high.
In fact, the one that we took online the other day was very nice. Excuse me. Very nice in terms of having a number of dimensions it measured. And if it simply stopped there in saying, here's where you have some strengths, here's some other dimensions of creativity you could develop, that would be such useful information. But it was when they tabulated a final score saying you are now high creative or you are low creative.
Yes.
That's where the damage can be done.
Right. And guess what? We're about to write an email to them. And hopefully, because it was actually a very nice assessment and it was free online, to us, a good assessment is an assessment that generates positive, insightful conversations. Uplifting. And this could be that if they were to just make a shift. I actually made that shift with my results. William watched me. I said, okay, I'm good at these areas, or these are my preferred areas, which I feel good about. These are the areas I need to be more aware. I need to develop more versatility. As soon as I saw the assessment from that perspective, I was like, cool, now I got a high score, so I could be puffed up about that. But still, a high score, what does that do for me? It puffs me up. A low score makes someone feel bad. It furthers that divide between the haves be creative and have-nots.
Which actually then fights against the need of the day, which is that being creative and being innovative is no longer a specialist domain. Like, okay, we have a few creative, innovative people over here, and the rest of us get to implement whatever they throw over the wall.
Right.
Instead, the need of the day is to recognize that being creative and innovative is a core competency needed by every single person. We saw this years ago in the total quality movement, where we saw that every person from the floor sweeper to the CEO had the capability of giving creative and innovative ideas for improving quality. In the same way, we want to make sure that we bring out the innovative and creative strengths of every single person, and really focusing on what's going to uplift that and really bring out the very best of everybody.
While we're continuing to develop the competencies that they need in order to be innovative, think innovatively, and act innovatively in their everyday work.
And this is where the innovation styles, if I can just draw a parallel, with the 4 innovation styles, every one of the styles is a way to be innovative.
To think innovatively.
And so the question shifted from are you innovative to how are you innovative? In the same way, we want to shift this creativity conversation from not are you creative, but how are you creative? That is a strength-based shift.
And what supports you to be creative. We have a module on natural creativity, and that's why we actually decided to have a specific module on creativity, is because it's in many ways a different conversation than innovative thinking. And so the question is not, are you creative? How are you creative, and what supports you to be creative?
Exactly.
Internally and externally.
So we hope this has given you a couple of new insights about the use of creativity assessments
or not using creativity assessments.
Right. And to be able to be judicious and wise in how you approach that, from a shift of are you creative and innovative to how.